Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you beautiful souls. Hi, this is Lilith Lips, a soft, sacred space where stories become spells and shadows learn to dance in the light. My name is Leo. Hi. Here I hold room for storytelling, for reflections that untangle the heart, and for the type of healing that is slow, but it lasts, right? This is not a space for noise or chase. I will never DM you. I will never reach out to you first. But if you do feel called to connect, to walk deeper with me, to join the soft circle, to book a voice session, to even rewatch these lives, you'll find all of these doorways in my link in my bio. So breathe, take a pause. This is your soft pause. Hey, all right? Bring all of you here in a world that has forgotten to listen. Here when softness rolls. Hi, it is Monday, Moon Day, the day of intuition, the day where our inner tides are rebalanced. Our emotional landscape on the inside is reworked, right? And typically I come on a little later than now, but I've been sitting in my little staircase like I do, and I've been thinking about expectations and intentions and what that means for me emotionally. Like, I was talking about star signs yesterday, sun signs, and mine is Cancer. So today is very much within my zodiac sign, the feelings and that emotional intelligence and balancing it out in the most mature way possible, right? I was thinking, because I get asked a lot, shall I say, by you guys, am I single? Am I married yet? No, I'm not. So I was thinking about dating. And I was thinking about the expectations and intentions I have about dating, about marriage, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the ultimate goal, is to find your person that you can do life with, right? I ain't no different. I want that for myself too. So I sat here and I dreamed and I wondered what it would be like. But then Saturn came in, because she done been on me since Saturday, right? And she said, hey, all of that whimsical fantasy stuff, how can you practically make it practical, right? Where's the logic in it? Where's the practicality? And I had to go, true that. We have expectations in a society where we say, hey, as women, we want to be chased, right? Men should chase us. What's the weirdest thing you've ever bought? What's the weirdest thing I've ever bought? That's a very interesting question. I'm not quite sure. Maybe a hat, a Mad Hatter hat with trinkets in it. It's probably the weirdest thing I've bought. I can be quite theatrical. I like vintage pieces, but I like them in unusual ways. So that would probably be it. Have you listened to Ice Willow's new album? No, I haven't. Hi, it's a blanket hoodie actually, so it's really soft and cozy. I'm feeling cozy today, right? Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you to say. Like I was saying about dating expectations, I think like most women, we've been told it is soft. It's so soft. We've been told, hey, men are meant to chase us, right? We're meant to be the prize. We're meant to just sit here and look pretty. And hi, welcome to Monday. I am hoping you guys are setting your Monday up right, because your intentions on Moon Monday make your whole week, right? And for me today, I've been thinking about relationships, not just romantically, but platonically as well, but the expectations and all of that. So yeah, I've been trained as a female to never chase what I want. It should come to me. I should receive it, right? And I'm sure you men can testify to that too. Women telling you, would you want kids in the future? Absolutely. I think I'm definitely someone who views children as a blessing. Um, they are part of a legacy I leave behind when I die. So it's like, why not? If not, um, they have their challenges, children, but don't we all, us as human beings? How many would I want? Let me think. How much? Do you know what? I will happily take as many kids as I'm blessed to have, because I won't lie, pregnancy is not easy. It takes a lot out of the body. And while I believe I am strong as bull, I can never predict the future on how that's going to always develop in my body. My first pregnancy almost killed me, literally. So, and my second one ended in a miscarriage, and that broke me in a different way mentally, right? So each pregnancy takes something from you just as much as it gives. And I don't know how much I've got to give, if I'm really honest, but I will take as many as I am blessed with. But at a standard, I want at least one girl and one boy. It just sounds like it's a healthy balance, you know. I've got one guy and one girl. I've been a dad. I've been a girl mom, and I've been a boy mom kind of thing, and they both have dads like that. That's beautiful. Thank you. I don't know why I said dad. I ain't a dad. Wait, am I a dad? Who's having my baby? I'm joking. Okay, I am being way too goofy too early in the morning. I apologize. Right. So I was saying dating expectations of me, right? Hey, there he is. Dating expectations. I was like, okay, yes, like every other woman, I do want to feel valued. I want to feel like someone's taking me as a priority. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I want to be chased. So it's like he has to message first, and he has to be the one to instigate, and he, like it has to all be on him. Absolutely not, right? I have always been very vocal. If I like something, I'm gonna tell you, oh, baby boy, your voice is doing it for me. I am that type of person. I won't hide my intentions from you. I won't hide what I like, and I won't hide what I dislike from you. So yeah, in the dating stage of life, I am very much eager from the jump. If I am attracted to you, I'm gonna say so. Like, yo, you're fitting your baby. Come and get this number over here, right? And I understand that in certain lights, that looks like I'm chasing a man, right? And that's not necessarily true, because I still keep that balance within myself where I can compliment you. I can randomly text you, yo, do you know what? You've been on my mind. Can I have your attention today? Right? I'll ask you that. And if you give it to me, great. But it's not going to be a thing where I'm going to wake up every single day and I'm the one sending you the good morning texts in the morning, right? Or the one that's messaging you every night, or and you're silent throughout the day. If it's the type of thing where the effort I'm putting in, I don't recognize it back, then I'm going to pull my effort back naturally, right? Because I want to be chosen just as much as I'm actively choosing you. I think that effort should always be mirrored, right? That's my intention. That's my expectation. Even though life and society has told me, no, men should come to you, right? That's feeding your hunter side of things. Like, you make it too easy if you're too available and too open and accessible. I truly believe there needs to be a balance. And that's the same in even going out on a date. Yes, the old traditionalist in me, I want you to let me know your intentions. If I say hi to you today and you're like, yo, let's go out on a date, I'm going to leave it to you. Like, okay, if you want to go out on a date, tell me the time. Tell me what you want, and I'll see if I can match it. I'm going to leave that to you. I'm not going to enforce it. There's always a choice in it, right? I will be available. I will show you that I will make that time for you. just the same way you're showing me that this is what you want from me, and vice versa. But I also want to know in that want, hey, yeah, I want to take you out. You're showing me the consideration of me and my time, right? You're not thinking I'm just going to travel to where you are, where it's convenient for you. You're finding a place that's well neutral. And it's like, if anything, we both have to travel there, right? Or if you really want to be a gentleman about it, you find it in my comfort zone. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to what we say these gender roles are, right? Women thrive in places that's familiar for them. We do. We're nesters. Just like hens, we've got to have our little nest, and that's where we thrive. And men they're able to go out and readapt in different spaces. They need that dynamics, right? This is just, when we're talking energetically wise, it's just a thing. There are people who, yeah, they thrive when things get switched up. And there's those who thrive when they're in familiarity, right? For me, especially with how my placements are, I am a Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon, and Taurus Rising. Baby, I am home. See, when you come here, my essence, my being is, when they say home, like home is not only where you lay your head, it's also where your heart is. I'm the embodiment of that. So in whatever environment you find me in, it should and could, with my presence, feel like home. Meaning you could take me anywhere. Hence why I say I need to see that consideration. Where would you take home? Right? If you always felt at home, what would that look like? And I want to see, and in your actions and in your words, that understanding. That's my expectation. And it comes to that whole dating thing. Hey, honestly, I'm going to put it as, we are friends who like each other until you tell me otherwise. Until you say, hey, no, this isn't just two separate people having a good time. I want you to be my girlfriend. I want this exclusivity with you. I want this intention of building a future with you. And that has to be spoken. I'm not a mind reader. I don't expect you to be one. If you are spending this time with me and you have understood my initial character, because that's all you can do, right? First thing you see is my sun. This is who I am at my essence. Ta-da! It's only until life kind of throws maybe a death or something that you might see my grief and whatever, right? But this initial fun time is that initial evaluation stage of, hey, at their core essence, is this something I can build something with? Sure. Once you've got that answer for yourself, and let's not lie to ourselves as human beings, when it comes to reading body language, when it comes to conversations and actions as well as words, we figure out what we want pretty quickly. I've said hi to someone in that first initial conversation. I have in myself realized this isn't someone I could speak to every single day, or this is someone I could speak to every single day. In those first 2-3 conversations, you're going to know that about yourself. Is this something you could entertain? If I was busy, do they still cross my mind as something fun to do? That do they shift my energy? That's known in that initial dating stage for you to be able to say, actually, yeah, do you know what? Let's build something more serious. And for me, once you are asking me to be your girlfriend, I am automatically working towards marriage with you, because there is no way you're telling me you're going to commit to me as a person without the end goal of permanency. It makes no sense. Yes, they say the title of girlfriend is temporary, right? It's only temporary because you become a wife. Hi. Welcome. It's Moon Monday, and I'm here thinking about the expectations and intentions of relationships and dating. It's very important for me as a Cancer to know that my inner circle and my outer circles work in rhyme and rhythm. And I feel like that emotional. How am I doing today? I'm good, thanks. I'm a little sleepy. My tooth still hurts, but I'm going to the dentist later today, so we're going to get that sorted out. And I am finding clarity on my staircase about my intentions of interacting with people and why and how. I think there's a lot of fantasy that happens with it, and we forget to ground it. We forget to ground it in practicality and logic. So yeah, things like dating, you're my friend. I don't expect anything from you more than what friendship does, which is me understanding you as a person and who you are, the things you like, the things you don't, right? Obviously not killing you, because if you have allergies and shit, if that's something I can work with, all of that, because you're a human being. That's what we do with our friends, right? Our friends, we understand they're good and we understand they're bad, and we just accept it for what it is. That's just who they are. And that's what dating is for me. What are my non-negotiables? My non-negotiables in terms of just that first initial stage, and a non-negotiable for me is your use of language shows your mental state. I am very, my biggest love language, for it, is words, especially words of affirmation. And if you're the type that you can speak very sweetly when you're happy, right? You can be very eloquent in your positive emotions. Yet when you are feeling negative, all you want to do is be spiteful, derogative, and just there's no way in hell. You're not trying to get out of it. I can't deal with you. And that can literally look as, and I've had this is an example in my life, right? I had a partner who, for him and the culture he grew up in, speaking the words like female dog and, nigger, right? These were things that were very, I just call you my bitch, right? That's just it. It's all nice and dairy. And I said, no, first of all, I'm not a female dog. Please do not refer to me in that way in any sense of word. We all know what the meaning of words mean, right? And he understood that. I said that. I said, hey, I would prefer you not to use these types of languages, especially when it comes to teaching the younger generations. I'm thinking as a mother, right? And you as a father, if our children were to say these things, we'll tell them, yo, cut it out. Don't do it, right? So why as adults now are we still performing that type of behavior when we're trying to court and understand someone that we say we're attracted to? It don't make sense to me. So he stopped it. He was like, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. I'm going to take that out of my daily vocabulary. And he did, right? He became very good at speaking without sounding derogative in any sense of the word, or what those derogative words are to begin with. But when we argued, now don't get it twisted, he never said it to me directly, but when he would be walking off, it would be like, yeah, see, this is why you can't trust no bitches, right? Right? This is why we can't trust no bitches. This is why you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. All of these derogative terms are coming back up again, right? Why? Because we've had a disagreement. He wants to go cool off and walk out. And that for me was a big no-no. Right? Because it shows me your mindset. It means to me that you feel that misogynistic behavior of entitlement over someone else's being is not okay to me. Can we be friends? I can always be friends with you. You never have enough friends in this world. And that definitely is a big non-negotiable for me. Don't switch up your English. Don't do it. You should be loving when you're angry just as much as when you're not. Your core essence shouldn't change, and it shows in the way you speak, the way you act, right? Thank you very much. Yeah, see, I will always sound sweet even when I'm being harsh. And that's definitely a big, do I smoke? No, I don't, sweetheart. No. Another big non-negotiable for me is, if you're not, don't say you're going to do something or I can see you're not putting the actual effort you say you're going to put in. If you say, hey, today I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a day, right? Thank you very much. That's sweet of you to say. You say you're going to go to the gym today 5 times this week, right? And you only go there for 2. I'd be like, okay, kudos. But if you didn't go at all, but you had prepped your bag for the gym, you've done your meal plan, like there's literally no real excuse for you have not to go to the gym apart from you just didn't feel like it. You just switched up on yourself. you can't commit to yourself like that, that shows me you can't even commit to me. I can't, sorry. Mm-mm. And this is going from someone who quite literally, I had to relearn how to walk at the age of 12. I was paralyzed from the neck down. Right? So learning how to self-commit again, yeah, 15 years of that ish. Every hospital appointment, every needle to the spine, I showed up and I showed out. I remember days where quite literally my legs were, I couldn't feel my feet, and I still stood up on stage. I did classical theatre. I performed in the Globe Theatre. I've had pieces that have gotten into the international drama festivals. I've been flown to France, Spain to show exhibitions of my work while still quite literally holding crutches. So yeah, when I say, hey, I want to see that intention of commitment to yourself, you can't get in, like, it's not excusable at this point. Explains the article. Thank you, right? Thank you. And this is why that's a non-negotiable for me. I had to relearn that commitment to myself, and there is no way I would expect it any less from someone else. No, not to that extreme. Clearly, I know every day can't be Christmas. I'm realistic in that sense, but the foundation is still the same. The foundation is still the same, right? So that's definitely a non-negotiable for me. In being a girlfriend, there becomes more non-negotiables. One of them is, hey, the way we're planning for the future. A non-negotiable is, hey, even if we're not going to premarital at the start, it needs to become a thing in our, like, that premarital counseling, that personal therapy, because no, we ain't passing down generational trauma anymore. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not funny. And I need to see that intention. Hey, we're working towards marriage at this point. So I need to understand, do we have a family plan? Because if you're going to give you these children, then I need to also understand, what is your mental expectation of that time? Do you expect me to go through those 9 months, right? And we're talking both best and worst case scenarios. Best and worst case. If it was the worst case that I became seriously sick, are you okay? Have you mentally prepared yourself to have to take the burden of sleepless nights while catering to probably my needs at that time too, where you're going to have to be more of the present adult than I am? Or even in the best case scenario, right? Let's say I had the best pregnancy ever. I was doing marathons and all of that jazz. Do you expect me to be the only present parent? Right? Are you expecting me to just praise you when you pop in and out? And if you're not present, why? Is it justifiable for you not to be there, to be in these same moments as I? Do we switch? Do we rotate? I need good morning. Hi, it's morning here too. Good afternoon if it's afternoon for you guys, and good evening if it is too. It is Monday, Moon Day, and we're speaking about intentions, expectations, and it goes very well. My moon is in Gemini, so I be thinking in the court of law, the two twins, the yin and yang, Jekyll and Hyde, about everything. But it is in my first house, which is Cancer, which is all about love and relationships and just that practicality of home, right? Hence why relationships and dating is a very big thing in my head, right? Yeah, so a non-negotiable is, if you're not ready to go to therapy while we're dating, while I'm your girlfriend, you're not ready to be building family plans, you're not ready to even get over the legal stuff. Financially, how are we putting to the side for the future, right? Because them kids ain't gonna pay for themselves. Are we building a family business together? That's not going to just happen overnight. I mean, as much as there are people who go viral, let's be honest, it takes hard work. And how much of that business am I controlling? How much are you controlling? How much are we legally leaving for our children? If we were to, in the worst case, if we were to divorce, how are our children's needs still met if we have children, right? How are we leaving amicably where we don't feel like, ha ha ha, she just stole all my money, she was a gold digger? right? So yeah, Jehovah himself will reward you. That's true. But guess what? Heaven helps those who help themselves. The reason God gave us the gift of free will was because he gave us the trust that we would make the right decisions within his plan. He made nothing imperfect, right? Good. Hi. Good morning. Good evening. I never said it was a natural verse. It's a quotation, not a verse, right? I am not quoting the Bible in any way. I don't need to. Because in the end of the day, one thing about the Holy Scripture is there is a lot of interpretation to it. It's translated quite literally, is an interpretation. Unless you are reading it in its original language, you are reading an interpretation. But I digress on that. Hey, how are you? Or are you on that spirituality? Spirituality wise, I am a very firm believer that there is something beyond what we can see in this physical. There is higher being, higher purpose. I believe that there is a God, gods, however you want to put it. There is more to this existence than what I can see and feel right now. I truly, strongly believe that. When it comes to religion, though, I'm not opposed. I respect it all equally. I had the blessing of, we're going beyond Bible. Yeah. I had the blessing of living in a household where on my father's side, they were Muslim. And on my mother's side, they're all Christian. And they're African-wise, they're celestial Christians, right? Celestial Church of Christ, which puts a little spin on just like Church of England and stuff like that, or Pentecostal. And I had the grace of learning both and understanding where they cross and correlate. I went to a school that really drove in religious education. So we learned about Buddhism and stuff like that. So I got to see religion in a more totality type of thing, rather than this is the only religion I've known all my life. And one thing that has been very glaringly clear to me is that while they all come from the same source of belief, they are all expressed differently. And that's okay. And because of that, I feel okay to have my own person. What do you like? Yeah, well, I'm not quite sure where that country is. You're right. I now strongly believe I'm able to express my faith and my belief in a personal way. The school, where was that? The school that I went to. Oh, I jumped around. So I've been to 2 primary schools, 2 secondary schools, and like 2 colleges, and only 1 uni so far. But I grew up in London. I grew up in South London, to be exact. So primary school wise, I don't know if I got Londoners on here or not. I went to Camelot, and then I went to Brunswick. Secondary school wise, actually I went to 3 secondary schools. I went to Eliot. I went to, it was called it's Archbishop Ramsey is what I went to, but they've changed their names over the years. When I was there, it was called St. Michael's and All Angels. And I went to St. John's, which is a Catholic school within itself as well. So two religiously based schools. Most of them were. Let's leave the spirituality. It's very subjective. I was enjoying. Okay, we'll go back to the non-negotiables. I apologize, but to be fair, one of my non-negotiables is technically spirituality. You can have your faith. Do not impose it on me, though. Of course we can. You never have too many friends. Don't impose it on me. You can be Muslim. Please do not just expect because you're Muslim and I'm now your girlfriend, I've automatically become your religion too. My faith does not work like that. There's one thing about my family's dynamic that I really, really respected. My father's side never, ever tried to make my mother Muslim. And my mother never tried to convert my father into Christianity. They were, when it came to him going to the mosque, he went. When it came to her going to the church, she went. What solidified, what they respected was that they had faith. And that when she was praying for him and he was praying for her, they knew it was in grace and in gratitude, and they left it as that. She didn't have to scream Allah, and he didn't have to scream Jesus Christ, right? How do you work with that with kids? Again, for me, they taught me both. I was allowed, I had the flexibility of going to the church, but also going to the mosque. I learned how to wear a hijab, and I learned Arabic, right? Don't ask me about it now, because I ain't practicing any of it anymore, right? And I hope you find that person, right? They allowed me, like, even when it came to prayer, even if I was to say amen, right? Or start in a, like, they didn't impose, they just showed me. And they allowed me to choose and cultivate my faith the way I wanted to. If I decided, and I did, I had a moment where I went more to the mosque than I went to the church. And when I fell sick, I was in the church more than I was in the mosque, right? But it was never wrong. They never fought back and forth with us. If I said, no, today I'm picking up the Quran, I don't want to look at the Bible. They just encouraged the cultivation of having a faith, right? Because they believed as long as you had those qualities, you're a modest woman, right? You know the crown that's upon your head. You know the God that you serve, and it doesn't matter how you serve it, have that union with it. Right now, I'm heading to work, but we can discuss later. Sure, right? So that's definitely a negotiable. Don't impose. Don't impose your faith the way you decide to put your faith. Don't put it to me. How did others turn out? How did others turn out? So I am the eldest of 6, and my brothers, honestly, they went more down the church route than I did. I honestly, I feel like it's because I was a granddad's baby. I liked going to the mosque with my granddad. So that was probably why I was in the mosque more than my brothers were, right? So Junior, he literally, the tattoo he has on his forearm is of a crucifix wrapped in blue silk. He's very much a Christian lover. Tariq, yes, he goes to the church more. He probably understands church more simply because the type of church. Can you please tell me? Yeah. Honestly, I cannot tell you that, because as much as I may be a wise woman, I do not see the future. But we can give a guesstimate. If you want to look at your charts, I will be opening up my sessions again, and we can do a compatibility chart with you guys. Where was I? Yeah, Tariq, he knows the Bible more than he knows the Quran. I think for him it was more about the language. He didn't like having to learn Arabic, but he doesn't go to neither at this point. I don't think he's atheist. He doesn't bother with going to the physical buildings, right? My sisters are way too young. The youngest is quite literally 1, and the eldest of them is 12. Brianna lives with her mother, and her mother is Christian, so she's probably got more exposure to the Christianity side of life. She is by a different mother to mine, so obviously her influence is slightly different to me. And my adopted sister, she converted. She didn't convert really. She never liked religions to start off with. Now she goes to church with her husband all the time. Where am I from? I am Yoruba and Bini, but I live and have been raised in the UK, sprinkling all that culture into me by my grandparents. So yeah, we've all kind of gone in different pathways of it, and I feel like a lot of it has been influenced by who we had the closest relationships with. I understood mosque more simply because I was a granddad's baby. And my brothers, ran more towards Christianity because they are mama boys, right? My sister, she didn't want any of it. I mean, my adopted sister, not my biological ones. She didn't want any of it because she's the only oldest one out of all of us. So there's 4 of us that are technically adults, and then 3 of them are still very much children. And she became more religious when she got into her marriage with her husband. So it's interesting. But we always had the free flow. It was never pushed on us to be anything but that. All right, so back to my non-negotiables, right? When it comes to being a girlfriend, like I said, family planning is a must. Business is a must. Like, we must be building something. Premarital counseling and postmarital counseling is a must. Hi, right? Family planning, legals, like having, even if it's a trust, to know that, hey, our children, be it that we divorce or not, are still very much catered for. Their future is very much looked after, because I cannot determine if we go from being married to co-parents, we're not going to have a messy patch, right? Because, hey, pain can make us do some very stupid things, but one thing it should never let us do is disrupt the nurturing and the growth. I'm not taking any requests right now, love. The nurturing and the growth of our children, ever. They should never feel that difference, because they are a byproduct of our choices. And if we are deciding to fight, they shouldn't feel like that. You are figuring this out. Are you figuring this out on the first date? No. What I'm figuring out on the first date is if you are someone I can actually deal with every single day. I'm figuring out if, again, like I said, in that dating stage, we are basically friends that have an attraction to each other. And just like friends, right, we know what's good and what's bad about them, and we decide if that's something we can handle in their personality. Do you know what? I have a friend and they might jibber jabber a lot, but I know they have a good heart, so it's all right. Or I have a friend, like, that circle, your socializing circle is what I'm first looking at. The people you hang around show you. They say what, birds of a feather flock together. If you're hanging around fuck boys, right? And when I say fuck boys, I mean these are men who take the joy in, I slept with her today and I slept with that one tomorrow, right? And you're finding fun and enjoyment in that. Please, sir, stay away from me, because I translate this even into your business partners, right? I would never work in business. I would never put my money. Yeah, that's true. That's why most people don't have friends, right? I never put my money with someone I know fully well is fickle with their commitment to themselves, right? It wouldn't happen, right? And that's in that initial stage when we're courting. When we're courting, what we're dating, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to understand. Where are your intentions for yourself? How do you commit to yourself? Where is your boundaries? Where is your respect? If you say you're this type of man, show me it in your life. Show me it in your life, right? This is in the people you hang about with, the way you use your time. And that doesn't necessarily mean, hey, you're at work 24/7 and you don't have fun and you don't do silly things like jump out of a plane. What about the race? Okay, me, as in me personally, I have a very strong. Hi, welcome. This is Lilith Lips. Here is a safe and straight. Every time I do that, it sounds like a script, but honestly, this is Lilith Lips. It's a soft and sacred space where we talk about pretty much everything and anything, and intertwine it with astrology and experience. Yeah, in a nutshell, we reflect and we heal in a way that is slow, but it lasts. Where was I? Your question, what was the question again? I lost my train of thought. Oh, race. Okay, for me, you've got to know where you come from. You have to have a strong identity in your culture. And that could be as a Jamaican, that could be as a Indian, that can be as a white man. I don't care. What I care about is you knowing your roots, right? for me, family, or shall I say your history, your family history is something that's very core within me. I'm a Cancer, right? We are home. Home is where I thrive in, and I can only vibe with you when I know that you're secure in your identity, and that is in the good and the bad. That is in the good and the bad, because I looked into my family. Zambia, welcome, right? Looked into my family history, and yeah, there are things in it that I don't agree with. I don't, right? I think if I do not eat pork. No, I'm actually more. I don't really eat meat. Full stop. To be fair, you could call me a vegan, I guess, in that sense. I mean, I'm not save the animal weird with it, but I I don't like I don't like meat. It just in general, it's just a personal preference. I just don't like the taste of meat. So I mostly eat vegetables and stuff like that. Um, and I know in religious cultures, both Christianity and Muslim, it's not a thing there either. So I grew up never eating pork to begin with. Chicken, I would eat chicken, I guess, like on a rarity, most likely in my red week, just because of that need for iron. um, but it's not my like, let me run to it. Like, I'm the type that will take like sorbet, like mango sorbets and frozen grapes over chocolate and ice cream. I've just always been like that. But yeah, knowing I'm not biased to a certain race. Do I feel like I will probably marry? I know I'm going to. I put it this way. I have looked into my chart, and I know with the way my chart is placed for relationships, the person I will end up marrying, because Sagittarius is about crossing borders, it's about that foreign land. They will be foreign to me, aka they won't be from my home tribe, right? They may be African, but it won't be my particular tribe. Or they could end up being white, they could end up being Pakistani, whatever. Or if they are of my same culture, they grew up on a different side of the planet than I did. They live in a different part of the world. My husband ain't gonna just be across the road from me. It's not possible. It's just not written like that for me. And that's fine, because it's meant to, you really take this home. I honestly, when it comes to astronomy, not just astrology, numerology, and the divination of the stars, it goes back a lot into my culture, African spirituality, and divination in itself, using the elements around us to navigate who we are, how we are, and the timings in our lives has always been something I've respected. Again, God gifted us free will, but he then also gave us the tools to be like him in his image for a reason. And these are part of it. Do you think the three wise men found Jesus Christ following the stars? That's divination. Like that whole sailor history of us where we used to use the stars to find new places. All of that pours into this horoscope thing, as we put it, right? Has it become a surface level fad? Yeah, it has. A lot of things have. It's the same with English. At one point, it used to be only the king knew how to read, right? And it was the most amazing thing in the world. Oh my God, he's so intelligent. Now everyone can do it, right? And to a point, we've even truly lost the importance of English in its truest forms, where we will take words like sick and we give it a completely new meaning. So you have the Queen's Dictionary, but then I have my own personal one. And you think, what the hell, right? Are we not still speaking the same English? No. And it's the same. I don't only just use astrology. I use it as a practical way to understand. Tell me, what does a Libra like me need? Well, I can give you a surface level answer, or I can give you a personal in-depth answer, because one thing that people mistake about astronomy is that it has layers to it. So yes, I'm a Cancer, and there's many Cancers in this world, but see, the degree in which my Cancer is that of a Capricorn. So it has a Capricorn flavor to it. The house in which my Cancer sits in, right, is a Leo house. So it also has some Leo aspects to it. Now you see how that swirl is becoming a different flavor just slightly? It's a lot like that. Because I'm very serious about you. Wow, I like seriousness. See that how that's giving it a completely different flavor? Because I've been told my nickname is Leo, right? And that was given to me by various people in various means of my life. And the one consistent thing they've always said is because I have a very kind of bubbly, fun, fiery personality to me. Ooh, today's speech, right? I can actually come off very harsh. A lot of people say they're quite scared of me in person. They don't always feel like they can just approach me. I don't see it. I don't know why. I mean, I'm just a girl in the fluffy hoodie, you know? But I like, thank you, right? This is another Leo aspect to myself. The fact that I am someone who can wear literally lilac and rose gold in her hair, and it only gives off a brown natural hair color effect. That's part of my Cancerian behavior. How are you, lover girl? I am good. I'm here reminiscing about who my future husband will be and how I will recognize him. All right. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you to say. I'm looking for a woman to marry. I hope you find that woman. Little Dirk. Who's that? See, I'm on old school in a lot of ways. If the music was before the 2010s, let me stop playing. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Post-marital counseling, personal therapy, family planning, these are all a must for me. And it should be a must for my partner, my future husband. Hey, let me keep it open, because never say never, right? No, I'm joking. I'm the type that honestly, before you give me that big white wedding, that public wedding, let's go have a silent court wedding. Let's have a year where it's about the marriage rather than this big old event where everyone is celebrating us. I would rather have my wedding, wear the white gown on a first or second year anniversary than when we're just starting our journey. I'd like to give us that space and time to grow first. Because one thing I have understood in just life in general, right? As much as there is, people all have their own personal individual reasonings and assumptions about you and who your partner is and that relationship is. Are your people allowed to? Yeah, because I say so. See, the thing is, when it comes to traditionally for us, right, where we have the engagement party, we have the African wedding, and then we have the white wedding, right? When it's done correctly, or how it used to be done correctly, do you know that marriage is exactly, right? How it used to be done is, hey, before, because we had a time where arranged marriages were a thing, and even for us culturally it was, do you need permission from your owners? Do you need to be blocked, sir? See, this is not okay. Your ignorance is not cute. All right. I apologize for that. No. Hi. Ugly boy, change that name. Don't ever call yourself ugly. Korean, can you try me? Try what? What are we trying exactly? Again, I apologize for that. Ignorance does not fly here. And that's probably where you'll find Leo in me. I will burn you just as much as I can keep you warm. Where was it? Where was I? Things that I kind of need to always be like practical wise. Hi, welcome. It's Monday. Hey. One thing is the way we spend quality times. Another, I could say, non-negotiable for me, especially in a marriage, is that we both have practical as well as we can say mystical ways of spending time with each other. I could be working from home. I don't care how fast I'm typing, how deep it seems I'm in that conversation. If you're walking past to go to the kitchen, you better give me a kiss. You better take that second to hold me and just feel me, and then you can go about your business. Always reconnect. It's easy for us to get lost in our own headspaces. And I think it's very, very important to be intentional about reconnecting, about just literally taking those 5 seconds to be like, hi, I'm still here. I still love you. Let's go. I am the type of person whereas I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care how tired you are. Before we put our head down to sleep, right? I know it's just a nickname, but words have power. That we have 5 minutes to talk about our day, how we're feeling. I don't need you going to bed with any residual negativity before you go to sleep. Thank you. And vice versa, because we're each other's safe space for a reason. The reason you're saying you're doing life with me is because of that. So I'm gonna check in with you. That check-in is a must, especially before we put our head down. And if it ends up with us like having some fun, hey, that's even better. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. But either way, every single day, one question that will always fall out of my mouth towards you and vice versa back is, are you good? Where's your headspace right now? Is there anything you're working through that you need me to help you with? If not, do you just want me to listen? Because I know at the same time, while I can help you figure things out, I can be that problem solver with you. Sometimes you just need the space to process it. So tell me, do you need me to be a listening ear right now? That does sound stressful. I can see why. Do you want us to plan for you to go have some quality time with yourself and de-stress? How are we going to fit that in? This is including on top of dates. And our dates, they can look in different ways. Because again, we're building a business, we're building a legacy, we're leaving, right? Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say, right? Our dates become our business meetings too, so we can write them off, right? We're talking about what we made this quarter while sipping pina coladas on a beach in New York, right? I need to be in a bikini while you tell me how much we made this month. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it interesting. This is a must. I am with my husband. We're meant to be experiencing life, right? And yes, while we still have responsibilities, we can still have fun with them. So yeah, the way we spend that quality time. Hey, I want to be able to gift you for no reason. And even if it is, do you feel like, hey, because I know, or shall I say, in a relationship I had a partner, and honestly, I have friends like that too, who are uncomfortable with women paying. They weren't brought up that way. They were brought up to be the ones who provide. And I respect that because that's their history. But I'm also someone who very much, the modern woman, right? I like to give just as much as I like to receive. I like to feel like I have put in some type of effort towards you, just like how you want to feel that towards me. And I have learned to negotiate with that. So I have a friend, and when we meet up, he likes to go and eat. He's a foodie. I'm a foodie. I love it, right? We go out and eat. And I already at the beginning know fully well he ain't gonna let me pay for my meal. He doesn't like me paying for my meal. He will pay for everything. So we've come up with this thing where before we enter, he will give me his card, right? And he'll be like, here you go. So I can physically go ding and feel like I paid. And he don't feel like he's taking any money off of me. I have another friend who would let me pay and then he will send me the money after. Right? You always want to pay for every. See, like, I get it. And I respect that, right? And I could probably see that with my husband too, to be fair. So it's the type of thing, which is why for me, that family business is important. Give me a salary, right? You can run the business, but give me a salary. Allow me to do my parts in it. I'm good at management. That's honestly, that's the most natural thing a woman can do, especially when you're running a household, right? From budgeting to organizational skills. I want to feel useful, right? And if you want to still feel in charge of that, sure, be the CEO. Allow me to be the secretary. Pay me a salary. Pay me for being at home and writing our books and doing our budgeting for the month and stocking up, paying the staff, whatever you want to look at as. If we look at it as a business, right? CEO delegates. That's why he's a leader. Allow me to have my delegated space. And that wage that you're paying me, technically it's still your money because it's coming back into the house. One thing my grandmother used to say to me, right? She always used to say, a woman's money is for the future. It's for our children. So realistically, any money that I have, that I earn, will go to our children. They will go into their investments. It will go into their future homes. It will go into their education now. And this is not just only in the sense of material money. I'm talking in my time and in the intelligence. I homeschool my daughter now. You might hear in the background, right? And I can tell you now, she wakes up at 7. I don't get out of bed till 9. Why? Because she is very capable at the age of 7 to make her own breakfast, to organize her own bedroom. She cleans up before the night before, and in the morning she makes her bed. She will brush her teeth and she will shower. I do re-shower her before she goes to bed, so I do make sure her hygiene is actually on par. But you see, all of those life skills, she's got it already. That's why you have a kid. Where's the father? I do have a kid. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and what do women typically spend the majority of their money on? Before or after children is the question. Her father lives down in London. He speaks with her every day, and he takes her twice in a month. So he's very much present in her life and the way she needs him to be. Where was I? Yeah, my grandmother, she always used to say, a woman's money is for the future, it's for the, or shall I say, future? It's for the future. A man's money is to maintain the present. So the reason my grandfather would go out to work was to make sure that our current living situation was always comfortable. My nan's job was to take either from the resources of that current situation or whatever she was adding in and allow it to make the future more comfortable, her children more comfortable, right? When I say my dad is only turning 50, and I think it was when I was 28, I heard that he got his first job. So he was in his 40s when he first got his actual own job for himself. That's the type of freedom my grandmother gave him. He wasn't mandatory for him to work until he was in his 40s, right? And even then, to be fair, I do feel like on a side, my dad only works because he wants to. Okay, what do you spend most of your money on? Currently, a lot of it goes into, first of all, maintaining, because I ain't got no one to maintain it with. Maintaining the house, it goes into her education. Like I said, while I homeschool her, I do pay for all of the resources she needs. And my daughter is in coding programs, in sign language programs. She does gymnastics, she does kickboxing. For every trip that I take her to, so the museums, the stay in place that she does, all of that, I pay for it. She has a big old budget for that, and that probably costs me about, I'm not going to say the price actually. And no, I don't work in the conventional means. I don't have an employer over me, right? I'm home all the time. That flexibility, that flexibility is here. It goes towards holidays. It goes towards my own self-care and maintenance. It goes to her clothes, her food, right? All of that. It pays for my personal gym at home, right? I have a personal trainer in my pocket, and every week I go calling with him today. Every week we speak and we go over my macros and my food plan and my workouts, all of that. All of that is what my money currently pays for. And will continue paying for. Yes, she has an investment portfolio. Yes, I'm looking at new legal structure ways to put her business ideas, because I got a very clever girl, I really do, her business ideas into a trust so that it's generating money before she even becomes 18. So she's going to have a business, a fully functioning, self-regulating business, even before she has to be of working age. That's what my money is investing into right now. Yeah, those type of things. We want to make sure that we're leaving a legacy. My biggest intention is to leave a legacy. Everything I build needs to outlive me, needs to have a grace that when I die, not only do my children benefit from it, but my children's children benefit from it. And even if I can go further, my children's children, even better. Even better. I envision myself being the type that I have millionaire maids, as in their salary is $1 million a month. That's how rich I am, that I can have a maid, a servant, someone who just comes to clean my toilets, maintains the space I live in. I can pay them $1 million a month. That's my goal, right? Why don't you think of opening? I am. It's just I want to redo the structure so she doesn't get taxed too hard. We want more money in than going out. So these structures are there. Life insurance, all of that, all of it is going to be a thing. It is a thing. And even the debts, honestly, because I won't lie, I've had partnerships where I'm still paying the debt of it. I had better credit and I put things in my name for them, and I'm still having to deal with that now. And that's not even just partners. My brothers too, as young as they are, I've guaranteed for them in certain things and it's backfired, and now I'm paying the consequences for it. But that's okay. It's part of my life learning. And this is part of the things where I say why it's important for me to even have that court wedding first, deal with the legals, because I don't want it to be anything between me and my partners. Because I realized, I saw how when I was being a guarantor and how these debts have slowed down the trajectory of what I can do for my daughter. My brothers now, one is 28 and the other is 26 now. When I was a guarantor for him, he was just starting uni, so technically he was about 19 and he got into some... It was a good plan, it was just an immature plan, let's just put it like that. And he didn't want to listen to advice. He's an Aries. Aries like to just go. They don't always like to heed. Sometimes they have to just feel, because they won't hear. But yeah, so this is why for me it's important to have those legalities in place, even if it isn't a form of a... No. See, I love my Aries, because you guys keep me on my toes. You definitely do. And I love my brother. He's a total sweetheart. When it comes to him and my daughter, honestly, most people think that that's his child. He loves children. I know Aries, when it comes to you and children, your hearts just melt. Like, you guys can be natural born fathers. When she was really, really little, like, he wouldn't let her go. She slept on his chest 24/7. He was on job when it came to her bottles and changing her. Like, he was absolutely in love with her. He still is, but I think now now that she kind of talks back and has an opinion, he doesn't really quite know how to deal with it. It's like, what happened to my tiny baby that I could just carry everywhere? And she's like, nah. So yeah. You Aries every sign has its good and bad. Look, every sign has its good and bad. As much as us Cancers can come off like with the mother hobbits, right? Come, my child. We are also like, I don't know if you guys have watched Tangled and that song Mother Knows Best. Yeah, we can be very much that. Like, we're not above making sure you learn your lesson. And it could be the easy way or the hard way. Hence why they say cancers. We cry while we're cleaning our gun. And I'll be like, I had to stab him. There was the only way he would learn. Like, it sounds a little psychopathic, but it is what it is. We're going to teach in one way or another, right? What other things do I expect or have intentions towards my relationship? Again, I think I did touch on therapy. I don't want to carry my trauma of failed experiences. I don't think it's fair to behave or believe that you could ever be fully healed. See, the thing is, I believe our life is like a string, and sometimes it gets snapped and then we patch it back together. Now there's a knot there, right? Or like scars, you get cut, you've got a scar. Now it may not be bleeding anymore, but those scars are still very much, you can't forget. You may forgive, but you can't forget, meaning that your body still has this body memory of triggering. And it may literally be something, this is why we call it PTSD, right? It could be something completely unrelated, but it just, for your whole system, your body, it feels similar to that initial cut. It's going to be, you're going to react in that way. And I don't think it's fair for me to not manage that properly. My triggers, my awareness of those triggers is my responsibility towards my partner, and vice versa. Now, that doesn't mean we ain't going to get into arguments. That doesn't mean there's not going to be times where he riles me the hell up and vice versa, because we're human. We have our good days, we have our bad days. But I will be intentional with it. I will be intentional to have more good days with you than bad days. I will learn to understand without having to agree. I will learn to be conscious of what it means to support someone without it having to be what I deem it to be, right? Hold your space while still simultaneously not losing myself in it, and vice versa. And that's what all of these marriage counseling and these therapy spaces allow us to do and cultivate. I want it to be the thing where I walk in and I can see that my daughter has gone to her dad and said, you know what, daddy? Today this boy did this thing and I didn't like it. It hurt my feeling like that. And he ain't just going to be like, what boy? Like, he's actually listening and validating and goes, you know what? From a man's he can learn a man's perspective from him in a healthy way. Sorry. I have to go deep. Yes, I'll have to go have you go deep into my chart to tell me more. Exactly. Honestly, you learn so much. It's amazing. It really is. When you know yourself, that's the biggest power you can give yourself. And that's probably the one thing I've appreciated with astrology and learning my chart. It was so accurate to the point where there was milestones in my life that it indicated that happened, and it happened at those ages. I was like, yo, so these things really were meant to happen and were meant to shape me in a certain way. It's the reason I'm even on here in the first place, because growing up, I've always been the type to sit on the stairs, like literally sit on the stairs, right? I've always liked stairways. Stairways have been a comfort to me that I could never quite explain to myself. It was like sitting in the in-between. And then I understood that was my Gemini moon. I needed that Jekyll and Hyde, that Marco and Polo type of space in order to shift through everything that was going through my mind, right? And I used to get in trouble a lot for it. What are you doing there? Don't you know it's dangerous? Right? Boop. Well, look, when you could say I was a glutton for punishment, because I was first thing watching your live, right? Oh, hi, welcome. This is Lilith's Lips. This is a sacred soft space where storytelling becomes spells and, reflections untangle the heart in a way that allows healing to be slow but life. I should make that a slogan, shouldn't I? I think it's working. Now, I mostly ramble. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. Um, yeah, I used to get in trouble a lot for sitting on the stairs or sitting in awkward places, right? I grew up primarily with my grandparents, especially when I was younger. And I love my grandmama. I do, but damn, we had we just didn't mesh. She loved me. I learned a lot of things. Because of her, I went to etiquette school, so I learned how to be a lady, right? Classical instruments. She imposed all of that in my life. Of course, there's a link in my bio. You can join the soft circle. You can book a sacred session. You can rewatch all of this. There's many ways to connect with me. Just check the link in my bio. I was born left-handed, and I don't know if you guys know the superstitions about African culture. There is a big no-no about the left hand, right, in giving and receiving things. So I would get in trouble a lot for that, and I learned to use my right hand because of it. But I used to scare the woman quite a lot. And for that, I would get in trouble quite a lot because I used to hide in places like her kitchen cabinets underneath. I was really tiny for my age. I still am. I'm only about 5'1". So I'm just missing midget. Just about. Okay. Admittedly, I'm actually 5 foot. But I like saying I'm 5'1". I'll message you on Discord and we can talk more. Sure. Yes, please. I'm in the process of building a Discord channel thingy as well. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. Yeah, so I used to hide in her cabinets sometimes, or in the middle of the night, like I'm talking 1 a.m. I'm sitting on the stairways, just kind of whispering to my imaginary friends, being like, hey. Okay. Oh, I just got a warning. I used to sit on the staircase. I'm part of the Lost Levels one. Yes, that's how we found each other. Hi. Oh, so you're part of Dimitri's crew. Hello. It's Leo. I ain't got my glasses on. I need to put my glasses on. Yeah, I would sit on the stairs whispering to my imaginary friends, and my grandmother would get so scared walking to like go to the toilet in the middle of the night and just seeing this tiny child just sitting in the stairways going, yeah, and I told him I didn't really like that. She would have a heart attack and just be like, yo, what are you doing? You should be in bed, you should be sleeping. So we had a very cat and mouse, Tom and Jerry type of relationship, but I loved her still, and she loved me. Hi. Lovely Bree. Oh, hiya. Now I see your name. Yes, we are on the same Discord. But yeah, I've been rambling for a while, haven't I? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But it's allowed me to process a lot of what I expect out of my relationships now that I didn't really clearly know before. No, in that initial dating stage, we are friends who have an attraction. I won't put any more expectation on that until it is expressed otherwise. And when we are saying, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my boyfriend, at that point, the only temporariness in it is because you're also agreeing to work towards marriage. And in working towards marriage, that means that premarital counseling, that means that personal therapy, that means that family planning, that means that businesses, that means that legal stuff. Yes, I want to be married at least a year or two before I do a big white wedding that everyone else comes to celebrate, that ceremony side of it, right? Even in my culture, it's like that, where when it comes to before the engagement that everyone else sees, my future husband does I don't know how to translate it, but there's like this in-house engagement that happens, right? He comes and he meets my parents. I come in and meet their parents. We have something in-house where it's agreed, right? He put the paying of the bride price, right? I don't know if people have heard that when they go to pay your bride price, that happens in home. Not everyone gets to see that. And then you have a public engagement, and that's where all of your extended family and your friends and all of that come to celebrate with you, like, yo, I put a ring on it. Even in the Western world we see it too, where they may have just a couple go off, and maybe just with the videographer, he does the proposal, then all of a sudden she walks into the restaurant and all her friends and family are there. See, there's that private part first, that private commitment before the public one. Oh, thank you. I crush a meal every day. I look in the mirror and I'm just like, ooh, I'm fine. please don't ban me. So yeah, I definitely want that. And that's the same with having the court wedding before having the big public wedding. I want there to be a period where we can figure out and we can stabilize ourselves in that marriage, actual marriage, right? Because that legality stuff, moving in together, being, like I said, that family planning, that business, how our finances are now working, how we're working, how we're sleeping, how we're waking up, our daily routines. Give me a year or two of that. I don't care if at that point everyone else in the world still thinks I'm your fiance. That's okay. That's fine. They can be on that chapter. They can be left at, shall I say, it's the type of thing, we're doing my bride price at home, we're doing the court wedding at home with my family and your family, we will do the public engagement and we will leave that for a year or two. So yes, people know that we're in a committed way. I'm not hiding that. Of course, I'm a lover girl too, and there's some lover girls in the chat. We know, we want to, I want to be like my man's, but also on a practical level, I want to be able to have that time and space to figure things out with you. Because no, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it requires effort, it requires time, and I don't want the pressure. Is it bold or who the hell? Okay, see, I'm not above blocking when it becomes all of these very vulgar questions. Please keep it respectful. For us to have fun, let's act like adults, okay? I want to have that time to figure things out with you. Let's get through the growing pains. It took a baby 365 days from the day they were born to figure out how to walk, right? They didn't come out of the room just crip walking like, hey, right? It took them a minute. It took all of us a minute. It took us a year. Give me that year with you, that first seedling year of that marriage to figure out with you before we even throw it to the rest of the world. Because then we're going to have to also balance out the projection of the world's too. Hi. And I'm not trying to make it hard for us. I'm good, thanks, and you? We're just talking about expectations and intentions, especially when it comes to relationships. And even that, I want to know how we turn out when we're married and how our social circles will change. How do you usually dress? How I usually dress, can it? Oh, I didn't see your question before. How I usually dress, is it influenced by a man? In the house, sure. In the house, it can be. I've never been the type of person who, when I go out, I need to feel very much authentically myself. And I know that we have a culture where women like to go out feeling half naked because that's what makes them feel the most sexiest. That's not me. Again, it may be the fact that my Venus is in Cancer. I'm very much old money, old school, in the sense of I like that classy, I like that simple, modest look, right? I feel like natural beauty, simplicity, that's where I shine the most. I don't have to do too much. I don't. And And if it's the type of thing my man wants me to start doing too much, then I'm gonna do it in the bedroom for you. If we need to role play and I need to be Poison Ivy tonight, then let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna do that for you. But if you need me to go and be Storm outside, I mean, we can go on dates where we go to Disneyland and then do Disneyland after dark, right? That's all fun. I can do that back and forth with you, but I do feel like when it comes to dressing, we will both get to a point where we reflect each other in the way we dress. So yeah, I probably will end up being that girl that does that matching. Oh, my baby's wearing black and red today. I'm gonna wear my own version, even if it's pink and white. We're gonna mirror in some type of way. I know for me, brighter colors, lighter colors work for me, and then for certain men, wearing darker colors work for them, right? I am the type that I'll get cheesy. I will wear your favorite jersey on your birthday in your favorite color with rhinestones and no underwear. Like, look, we can come to a compromise. But no, my own personal spin in how I dress and present myself should never change. Sounds amazing. Yeah, because it is. Because one thing you got to remember, when you first initially met me, I was purely in my own design, and that's what attracted you. So I can't lose that about myself. That don't make no sense, right? That don't make no sense, but I can add to it. Sure. If you turn around and say, hey, date night tonight, let's be a little bit risky, babes. I've booked out the whole cinema and I'm going to need you to go with no panties on. Okay. I'm going to wear that dress that you said you liked. Let's go. I got right. But then at the same time, it should be so when I go, hey baby, I read this book, because I'm a book girly, and if you know, you know. Us book girlies, we can have some very interesting books that we read, right? I had this book, and the way the male lead was in that. Can you read that back to me while we do something? Like, it's a give and take. If I say, hey, do you know what? It's cute how you can have that very street style about you, but I also want to see you in a suit sometimes. Switch it up for me. Okay, let's do that for each other. I want to always be able to surprise you. That's part of the fun of rediscovering the person you're in a committed relationship with in the first place. And I expect that. That is an expectation. An expectation is that I will find new ways to bring new fun into this connection. I want to find new sides to myself just for me. So yeah, I would expect you to want that too. All right. I think in one of my posts, I've said it, I'm very attracted to maverick minds. And if you don't know what maverick means, it's just people who think very outside of the box. I'm very creative. If I showed you my living room, you'll see I've had the neighbors' children all come into my house and they've painted on the walls. So I've got handprints and bumblebees and wonky rainbows and stuff all over it. My house reflects who I am, which is very much in that childlike spirit. I think color, vibrancy, that positivity, you need that space because there's a lot of harshness out there and it can drain you. So you should come back to a place that makes you happy. And there is a colorology theory. We see it. This is why nurseries are very colorful, right? These children at the age of 0 to about 4, they learn and grow in spaces where they've got the cartoon lion and all of that, right? And they thrive. And then after about 4 or 5, they are put in whitewashed rooms with stale walls and plain chairs. All of that color is stripped out. And that's when the stress starts, because now that's how it translates into our workspaces too. There's no vibrancy to it. It's very uniform. It's very bland. They do it deliberately. They mute out all the color. They mute out all of the creativity. Because then they can have you zoned in and focused in what they're asking you to do. Hi, good morning. King Ben. Interesting name. I'm good, thanks. And you? It is Monday, Moon Day. We're speaking about that inner tide, our intuition, our thought processes, our expectations and intentions. I honestly just jumped on to ramble about how my future life is going to be like because I'm being intentional with it and what I expect from it. But I'm also realizing how much I'm stripping back from what society told me it's going to have to look like. I have to be this type of woman, right? Who is traditional, who stays at home. No, please don't. I'm on live. Right? Again, I mentioned previously how my daughter wakes up before me and she makes her own breakfast and she brushes her teeth and she makes her bed and she has her own morning shower, right? And I'm still in bed and I don't get out until later than her. And even when it comes to her schooling, 90% of the time she's independent with it. I don't have to help her. And she's 7. And I know how many people were in my ear about why would I homeschool her? I will have no time to myself. There would I would just be trapped. It would just be me and her all the time. I would have to do everything. I have to. But I've actually had more flexibility in this. I don't have to wake up so early anymore. I can go to bed later because I get things done at night. I'm a night owl. My mind starts running more actively at night than it does in the morning. But she's the opposite to me. She's very much a morning child, right? She gets things done in the morning. And now we have a routine that balances both of that. Oh, she won't have people to play with. She goes kickboxing once a week. She goes gymnastics twice a week. She goes stay and play pretty much every other week, if not every week, every Saturday. She's learning budgeting and money. She has her own little Go Henry card where she gets £5 every week from all of the tasks that she gets done during the week to go buy whatever toy she wants. These aren't skills she's going to learn in the 6 hours that she's in school. And I'm not burnt out. These are the expectations that I learned from the outside world that no longer affect my inner world because I stripped it away. And that's why I'm here rambling. Because I'm understanding that my relationship needs to look like how it's natural to me, not just what the world around me has told me. And it can be a bit of a mixture of both, and that's okay. Anyways, I hope it made sense. I will be posting this, so if you guys want to watch it back, you can. And now you know a little bit about the husband I'm searching out for. Someone who's going to be intentional, not only in his words, because I melt at words. If you're a poet, if you're a singer, ooh, right? If you're an artist in any way, to be fair, like you get creative. I'm gonna be a fangirl for you. Let's go. Like, how many diamonds do you need in your ring, babes? Like, is it 1 or 2? But it's also someone who's comfortable with having the uncomfortable conversations. Right? So, you know how they say, hey, I don't want a prenup? If it's going to be a thing that we've sat and we decided that having a prenup is going to save our children headache in the future, because we will probably be wilding at a point that when we're divorced, we don't like each other enough to care to be responsible, then I'm going to put that in place. Because my negative actions should never affect the future. And that should be a want and a value for you as well. So every prevention we could put, hey, even the money that we have into ourselves, everything goes into a trust. Any family business that we have goes into a trust, because it's not just our children we're protecting in that, right? You still have responsibilities as a sibling. I know I do, right? And I don't want it to be where, let's say I do turn into that millionaire that I am calling into my life. And don't get it twisted, my siblings, they're all smart and within their own rights. But let's say I'm the first millionaire and they're like, oh, sis, help me. So, you know, my help has its limits and its guards, and it's the same for your side of the family. We will set it up in a way where, yeah, we can still help our families that we came from. But no, it does not take out of the mouth of us currently, and it won't take out of the mouths of our children's future either. And if it was the type of thing, let's say it's not a divorce, it's death. Right? The parts that I was playing don't get disrupted because there's a legal structure to support it. So that the only thing that you have to battle with at that time is not your living situation, it's not our children's living situation, it's the emotional grief of me being gone, or vice versa. And I learned that from my last relationship, right? His father, he did so much. He was the youngest of 9, and he lost his mother at the age of 9. And they really felt in that family, she was a glue in a way that they couldn't replace. But there was no other structure that allowed that to still stand and stay. She had left anything outside of herself, so that the only thing they had to grieve was her absence, her social absence, right? I'm not doing that to my children. Absolutely not. Down to my funeral, that ish has a plan and it's covered. Because it's hard enough losing me. You don't have to also think of the legal responsibilities behind it too. No. And we are doing all of that once you are saying, hey, I am your girlfriend and you are my man's. We're working towards marriage. And then we're doubling down even harder when we're in a marriage. Even if it's the type you're coming with a child already and we're blending as a family, that's even more reason why I need to secure. Because see, it's not just for the children we have together, it's also for the children we had apart. And yeah, their respective other halves too will be in that equation in some sense, because I don't want it to be where I have a husband and I'm going to get twisted. I don't feel like her father would ever be this type of person. But I'm now doing good, so he's now trying to be spiteful through my daughter. No, absolutely not. There will be legal steps in place where he can't get to me, nor can he get to my daughter's prosperity, right? Just because of his own social, emotional, delulu entitlements. It's not going to happen. I will protect in every way I can. And it will be the same for if you're bringing a child into the family, into this union as well, into this family. It will be the same there, because all of them are siblings. And if my daughter's father has children outside in his own union, I'm not selfish. They are her brothers and sisters. They get included, not to the same extent, but they will have some type of grace and leeway. So if she feels like, oh, I gotta help my siblings, there is something there where she's always going to be supported, and then how she wants to help everyone outside of her is supported too. And this is the type of talks we're having when you say, I'm your girlfriend. Because when we're signing our name on the dotted line, that's what it means. Marriage is not only a social commitment, it's a legal commitment. It's a spiritual commitment, right? And responsibility. And I'm not trying to do anything half-heartedly. I'm not. I don't expect it to always be right the first time. Don't get it twisted. We're going to make mistakes and we're going to rework and rewrite. Cool. But that intention is the baseline. I'm not going to get side-blinded by what ifs. As if I thought it means it's a possibility. Let's just put it that way. And it's a vice versa. And this also even goes to friends. If it's the type of thing where when I'm your girlfriend now, you realize, okay, you see this friend that you have? She's good and all, and I think she's an amazing person, but where we're going, the trajectory we're going in life, you can't keep hanging around her. Okay. I'm going to have to reread that. I'm going to have to rework that. Cool. Because I am working in union with you, and the one thing I'm giving you from the jump until you show me otherwise is that your intentions for me is always good. You're not trying to isolate me. You're trying to build me, because that's what I'm doing with you. And if I have gotten into a committed relationship with you in the first place, you've proved that to me. For me to say yes to you being my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend, it means you've shown me that characteristics as a person that you do want good for me, not just get in my pants. Okay, well, it is now 10:30. I do have... You staring at me like that for? Okay, I do have other commitments. I have to now go and be a mama for a little bit, but I will be late. I will be back on later for a Moon Monday. the event is up on my page, and we will dive into what it means, what your moon means in astrology, and how it colors your life, and in what ways you can use it to your advantage, because knowledge is power and power brings results. But until then, thank you for listening to my morning reflection ramble, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.